This time, previously on Roll No Evil.
Duel.
Showdown?
Showdown?
You reach for the gun, your fingers just slip against the holster while the other pulls out their gun and shoots you square on your hand.
Camera.
Your gun as well, the handle is completely broken. So you no longer have your gun at the moment.
The way that boy was killed out there, well, that was the same way that his Butch was killed.
But Jenkins, you said Butch was shot.
I did say that. All I remember it was aliens.
You can't fight that thing.
It killed Butch Dust.
They all go like that on their stomachs, same place.
I don't care if it's death itself. It killed my dad.
And underneath is a, silver choker necklace.
We're gonna come back to this.
Okay.
Bounty hunter Murhill. Butch was working with him. Need you to tell him I have a job for him. I want you to sign it, Sheriff Tomes.
Since we don't entirely know the release schedule yet, I feel like we should try to guess which holiday this episode's going to release on.
I like that. Everybody, what are we feeling? What do we think this holiday is going to be?
National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. I don't know
Arbor
what day
Day.
that is, but I'm calling it now.
I guess we know what Travis is picking.
Yeah, Christmas.
That's why you just brought this up, was just so you could play that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's going to be around Thanksgiving.
I'm saying Halloween.
What summer holidays are there? Because probably that.
Arbor Day.
Christmas in
So
July?
somebody brought up Christmas, so I am familiarly obligated to bring up this story. My uncle has a recording studio,
Humble brag.
and one time he thought that he wanted to make a Christmas album of a whole bunch of old Christmas songs. And so one of the songs he did was Dominic the Donkey, but he forgot what sound a donkey makes. So on the CD that he produced and gave out to people, he goes, jiggity jig, oink, oink. It's Dominic the Donkey.
Not even close.
Not even close.
I need you to get me that so I can put it in to this episode.
We're going to have a Christmas episode. Do you still have that soundtrack?
Oh,
Christmas
yeah,
one
absolutely,
shot.
we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need
This
to
is
take
this
that.
is a
Send it
little
to you.
thing behind the screen, folks. We're gonna be doing a Christmas one shot and a dedicated Halloween again.
I love it.
Boogie's Revenge.
Boogie's Revenge.
Yes.
The Boogie 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Oh my god, Electric
Right.
Boogie-Loo.
Right.
Boogie-Loo.
Frankenstein's wife returns.
It's just one long soap opera.
I come back from the dead just because you start dating again.
Madam Frankenstein.
What is it? Halloween 2, the Halloween special 2, Frankenstein's Return.
Give us suggestions of what you think the name should be.
Frankie cranks again.
Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge.
Is the best.
I
Also,
would.
hey, do you know what state the actual town of Halloween Town was filmed in and where it exists?
Let me guess.
Portland, Oregon.
Vermont.
It's not Portland, but it is Oregon.
But it's in
St. Helens,
Oregon.
I think you can guess where M is from.
Portland, Maine.
Maine can eat my fucking ass.
All ready to hop back in? So let's begin. We left off the last episode, meeting the monster, a showdown, all that goodness. Wyatt, you talked to Dusty. Dusty is going to deliver that message. Can you just remind what the message was?
Because someone didn't pay attention.
I'm sorry, I want to make you feel included.
It was to the bounty hunter that
Yes.
Butch had worked with previously, Murhill. And it was basically just saying that I have a job for you. And signed Sheriff Tomes.
Yeah, so we ended with that. It is the end of the day. Well, time-wise, it's almost night. Does everybody want to rest for the night? Or do we want to, just keep going, stuff like that?
I got shot.
Yeah, you're hurt.
Kind of want to sleep.
All right.
I feel like Cyrus would if I didn't say it, was going to the Undertaker's office. I think that's not a hard leap to take from the last conversation.
And so I feel like Cyrus would probably go straight there, but if it's night and like everybody's sleeping, like probably like bangs on the door and like no one answers or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I feel like Cyrus wouldn't want to rest, but like inevitably has to.
Yeah. I guess Eduardo, Jenkins, Winifred, resting, stuff like that.
I'm over here.
Jenkins?
I forget what day is it. Like, is the saloon open?
No, everything is shut for the night. It's night.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Jenkins will go back to his homestead.
All right.
And I'll offer my office to the other two.
Aw.
Eduardo has been around for a few days. Where has Eduardo been sleeping?
It's a good
He
question.
just kind of shows up.
Don't ask questions.
I would assume the boarding house.
Eduardo does as Eduardo does.
Where's Wynn been sleeping? The boarding house?
The boarding house.
Okay.
Don't question why Eduardo is dusty all the time.
Cyrus just like wanders off to the like desert on the outskirts of town. Just don't worry
He's
about it.
camping. Oh,
I do kind of love the idea that Eduardo is like low-key homeless and has just been
Oh,
trying
I wasn't
to
going
find-
at that. I thought you just like stop existing when Jenkins doesn't see you. Kind of like object permanence.
Oh, I hope Jenkins does not have object permanence.
That would be the best fucking fan theory, is that Eduardo is just a figment of Jenkins' imagination.
That everyone sees because Jenkins slips all of his alcohol into everyone's drinks.
He's just spiking.
No, no,
every
no,
single
no.
drink.
Everyone.
Jenkins already told you it's the aliens.
Right.
Oh, sorry,
that's true.
aliens.
No, Eduardo is like nomadic, so like he'll just like kind of prop his little board up against like one of those things where you tie up your horses, and that's his little tent.
There is a boarding house, I repeat.
Or the office that's open to you.
Yeah, but I can't fit through the door. Eduardo can't fit through most doors.
You were
came
inside
in.
the
You were inside. You flung your charcuterie board at my wall.
Char what?
Okay, maybe Eduardo is a little bit shy because he fucked up your entire board and we never addressed it.
That's true.
That's all on Wyatt if you want to bring it up.
I just looked at it and just said Jenkins.
Oh yeah, you just let Jenkins take the rap for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like people are resting.
Before Wynn goes back to the boarding house, she is gonna go to the bank.
You're gonna go to the bank?
Yeah.
What reason would you go to the bank?
Because the barber said that it was going to be costly for Wyatt's hand, and Wynn feels super bad that it's all her fault. Like Norma in season 1.
Is the bank open on a Sunday?
I thought it was
a
Friday.
Friday.
It's Friday.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday.
I was just going to tell the doctor, put it on my tab.
All right, when? You're gonna go to the bank?
Yeah.
All right. So you go over to the bank. Everything is shut down for the night. So you go to the bank, but you gotta obviously knock and you gotta hope somebody answers.
Yeah, she's just gonna knock and then keep knocking for probably a bit too long of a time. Just kind of hoping she would annoy someone enough that they would answer.
I'm gonna just say that works.
Hell yeah.
So you see, like, the bank is one of the newer looking buildings. Obviously made out of wood, but there is white paint. Easily identifiable. It looks a bit more put together, and there's, 2 windows on either side of the door. Curtains drawn, but you can see through, like, the curtains that somebody turns on, like, an oil lamp. The door flings open, and a middle-aged man with, like, a big blonde mustache, like, very slicked blonde hair, wearing an old-timey nightgown, like, with a little cap.
Honk shoe in it.
Yeah, I'm showing it.
I love the gif that you put.
That's all I could think of was the old lady at the bus was, oh, oh.
He opens the door, and he's got, like, he's fixing little, like, circular glasses on the bridge of his nose, and he goes, "Ma'am, we are closed for the evening."
I'm very sorry to wake you. I just need you to set up money to come in early in the morning, like if it's too late, just so that happens first thing in the morning. Cause the sheriff, like, I don't know if you heard like the gunshot and like the noise and stuff, but that thing that no one told us about came into town, and then it killed the grocery board, and then the sheriff tried to fight it, and then the sheriff's pinky got shut off. And then
As you're talking, he is, like, slowly closing the door.
No, wait. Okay, I'll make it shorter. I just need money.
He goes, "You are able to come in the morning to get your withdrawal, ma'am. I need my beauty sleep. And he goes to shut the
But
door
you're too
more.
beautiful. You don't need it.
That load of good it's doing.
He is like fully like turning up his nose. You can roll to get like a manipulate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, good. I got +2 to charm somehow. That is an 8.
For this, I'll just let you know how you can manipulate him a little bit. You might have to drop a certain name.
So as he's turning away, she's gonna go, I just need the money from the Gibbs.
He pauses as soon as you mention the name. He opens the door a bit. His glasses are like catching in the moonlight. They're like glowing silver. And he goes, I need identification that you're of that account.
Of course. And she gives him whatever she has. I don't know what she would have. I don't know what counts as identification back then.
Your social security number, say it on stream.
What's your mother's maiden name?
What was the street you grew up on?
A pet, perhaps?
You gotta dap them up in a certain way.
Yeah, so she's gonna pull out, fold it up in her vest. She's gonna unfold it. It is a photograph of her family, of her mom, her dad, her sister, and her.
The photograph is exactly everybody that you say. Everybody is dressed very fancily. They are in nice clothing. It's a professional photo. It's crystal clear. It's in good condition despite it being folded and everything. The man looks towards the photo and just kind of like his entire demeanor goes from like annoyment to very professional looking. And he fixes his glasses and then his honk shoe hat and he opens it up and he goes, of course. Come right in. How much do you need?
Would the barber have said how much?
The sum would have been probably, and keep in mind, we're not using the amount in terms of today's money. This is going to be
pinky
Old
worth?
West.
I was gonna say, I think the rich person should guess how much they think this thing is.
Yeah, because
Oh,
like
that's
what a banana's
point.
what, $20?
I don't think bananas were introduced into North America yet at that time.
I'm going to roll a d20, and whatever the result is, that is the price.
That's some big
I
spending.
bet my pinky's fucking expensive. Come on.
$2.
It was your whole hand, not just your pinky.
Yeah. It was the pinky, like the fingers were all gnarled, but he kept it functional, so it's going to be pricey. It's going to be $16.
Holy
That's
shit.
more like it. In that time, that's like $500.
Also, bananas were introduced between 1860. It was after the Civil War for bananas. So, like, maybe bananas were like.
You mean the Boolean schism?
I'm sorry, but it was
Boolean
right after the
schism.
Boolean schism is when bananas were just introduced into the Americas. But like, I can't imagine that the fucking Wild West was the first place where bananas were.
Yeah, that's
I
why
don't think
it
bananas
costs, what,
are
like
here.
$20.
The banana schism.
And that is our Arrested Development reference for the day.
Banana. Oh, I didn't even know
All
that
right.
was a reference. Anyways.
So it's going to be
You into that?
$16.
Yes, I'm gonna need $16.
His eyebrows are going to like fly up and he's like, 16. Ma'am, I just need to make sure.
Yeah.
16.
1-6. Yeah, the sheriff's hand was really gnarled. It was kind of my fault. And she's like starts tearing up.
He just like gently like patting her shoulder of like there, but looks like I don't care. He is just very much of just like, if this was a cartoon, hearing $16, you would have heard like cash register noise, like ka-ching, as you said that. He goes, all right, if you can follow me. He guides you to
Thank you.
the bank teller. It's one room. Right at the front, there's where the bank teller like table is. Just a desk where he's able to go one side, you're right in front. In the back, pretty like close to there is a wall with a door that obviously leads to more. And he writes up something really quick on a piece of paper, a request to bring in funds. It is an official looking note. The paper has dust on it to show that like people haven't requested this amount of money. On it, it's with gold trim on the sides. And it goes, requesting $16, no cents, from the Gibbs account. And it says the name of the bank. The bank's name is Monroe and Monroe Bank Co. And he signs off in a part where it says teller, basically the teller that's dealing with the transfer, he signs it off and he like slides it over, hands you like a very nice fountain pen to sign your name.
And she's gonna sign Winifred Gibbs.
He takes it. He's picking it up as though it's something extremely precious. And he say, I will give this to Dusty at the telegram office in the morning. And we will get right away with getting you that money, Miss Gibbs.
Thank you so much.
Of course, it's always a pleasure doing business with the Gibb family. You have been esteemed clients of ours for many years. And he takes the note and he's like sealing it up in an envelope, like very crisp, keeping it there. And he takes out like another note where he's going to be writing what he needs for the telegram itself.
Mm.
All right. Anything else?
No, then she's just gonna thank him a lot and go, I sorry again to wake you. I'll let you go back to sleep. Thank you, goodbye. And then she's gonna shuffle out.
All right. And with that, she's going to rest like everybody else?
Yeah.
All right. So, folks, you're going to be resting for the night. You can deal with that information in the morning, but right now you're resting. If you have any harm, you're able to get rid of it because you're taking a big rest. As well, because we're resting, everybody takes a point of experience.
Fuck yeah.
Like experience.
Has
I
anybody
leveled up.
leveled
That
up?
makes 2
Hell
experience.
yeah. All right, Drew. That means
Just
you can. This is your first
one more.
point. You're level 1. So,
Fuck yeah.
what
We level
improvement?
0?
Yeah, you started 0.
Oh,
Yeah.
not even 1?
Nope. Because
Brutal.
remember, you got to get 5 to get an advance.
Mm-hmm.
So for my improvement, I am going to get +1 cool up to a max of 2, but that just puts me at a +1.
There you go. During the night, you just decide to start parting your hair in a different way. And you look pretty cool.
It's like that kid in high school, like, you know what? Tomorrow's the day.
You need it. You really need it.
That line that you ended the last session on really stuck home. And everybody got kind of like, damn.
Oh, damn.
I feel like him losing the pinky just makes him look cooler because it's like a battle
Yeah.
scar.
Yeah.
It's a mix of his pinky is gone, so he looks tougher, and he's now like he dropped that line at the end. So and now
He's-
you're like
he's like
Sheriff
serious
Tolkien.
now.
Yeah, so now you're just kind of cool. You're in some,
He's just
some
fucking
street cred.
hot right now.
We did say that he has Riz.
On his hot girl shit, no pinky.
He has Riz and he
Yeah.
fucks.
Yeah, canonically, the two.
With Dusty?
No, Dusty fucks his wife.
Oh.
Yeah, that is
Dusty
canon.
fucks
That
and
is
Dusty
canon.
fucks.
Yeah, Dusty fucks and
Or
goes.
Dusty wants to fuck his wife.
I'll allow it. All right, so we're gonna begin the next day. We just did it before. Wyatt, you'll be in the sheriff's office, of course. Wynn, are you in the boarding house? Are you sleeping somewhere else?
Yeah.
All right, you're in the boarding house. You're staying there for a night. Do you have any money on you currently?
No.
All right, you're gonna have to go to the bank again, not only to get that money, but you're gonna need to go a little bit more because it's gonna cost you $1.25 a night.
Oh boy, how long has she been staying there?
We're just gonna start from the $1.25 right now.
Okay.
And then I think we just said that Cyrus
I think
sleeps in the desert.
Yeah, I think because I realized the Undertaker's like kind of on the edge of town. I actually think that he like probably just like sat on the porch of the Undertaker. Like he just was there all night. Like he just was there. Like had his hat pulled low and just kind of like kicked his feet back and was
You know
there
how
all
like
night.
Undertakers have like the coffins out front that are propped up? Cyrus is
He's
just like
just in
in
it.
the coffin.
You know? Yeah, fuck it. He thinks it's hilarious.
Make him Wynn think more and more that he's a vampire.
Who knows?
Arms crossed.
You've seen him in the daylight. Have you?
Jenkins has a homestead. Eduardo was just kind of side camping.
Yeah, Eduardo was just kind of like camping outside, but he woke up at the crack of dawn to go milk some cows.
All right. I think we're gonna begin with you, Wyatt. You wake up in the morning. You feel a lot better than you did, but you know it's sobering waking up and just looking at your hand. It's still all bandaged. Your pinky is like completely gone. You know, it's a little like, oh shit, that happened.
Yeah. He'll kind of just get up, put on some fresh, non-bloody clothes, his only other remaining clothes. And then he'll, as he's like getting dressed, he'll like fumble because he has 3 fucking fingers now. So he'll like try and do it, like bump. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's like he's just not aware.
He's like trying to do like his belt, and he's like, fucking damn it. He struggles, gets it on, and then he'll like look down and realize like, fuck, I don't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna look around for a gun.
You're not gonna find it.
Fuck.
As he's looking around, can Eduardo roll for act under pressure?
Sure.
Will make sense shortly.
Okay. I'm interested.
This is even better. Okay. That is a nat 6. I wanted to, I don't know if act under pressure. I don't know if act under pressure is the right one, but I essentially a stealth check for Eduardo.
It would be act under pressure.
Okay. So what Eduardo wanted to do was to sneak in bright and early with fresh from the cow milk for breakfast because he feels bad for Wyatt. How does this go wrong since I rolled a 6?
So you get in, but you kind of like a cartoon character, you try to tippy toe, but you have bottles of milk that just clink every single time you step.
Just like the biggest, like widest gate of a tippy toe, like just dried this gargantuan mountain of a man,
With
and
the
just
creaky
every single
boards.
step.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta see. I think I have another glass in here. Hold on.
every single step. And why you would have heard this as he gets it from like outside coming in. Do you just let him, or?
Yeah, he lets him like open the door. He tries like lets him try to be quiet.
Oh,
And then
that's nice.
as he's in, he'll just like peek around from his room into the office area and just stare at him.
Also, Draft, make sure you mark experience.
I did. We now have 3, count them, 3 experience, because I remember last episode I rolled low.
3.
Even more proof he's a vampire.
Yeah, so he's just gonna stare at Eduardo.
Yeah, Eduardo is just kind of like sneaking by. He doesn't actually like acknowledge Wyatt, even though he made direct eye contact. He just kind of like looks away. He's just like, yes, like pumps his fist. He's like, fucking nailed it. And just comes in and sets like, how big would a milk cart be in ye olden times? Let's say it's called 9 bottles of milk.
Okay. You just set it down.
Yeah.
Does he try and leave after?
I just set it down on the table, and then I like go and to his desk and try to find a piece of paper because I want to write a note for him.
I'm letting this happen.
Okay.
I'm just watching him do this.
Should I act under pressure again to see if this goes
You know
any better?
what? Act under pressure again.
Don't spill the milk.
I mean, because regardless of whatever Drew's doing, like you're still thinking that this is
Yeah,
you acting
that's a
under
good
pressure.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Nailing this. That is a 9 for trying to find paper.
So you managed to find paper.
Is it one of the gravy-soaked drawings that you
No,
did?
yeah, actually, yeah. It's so the paper is like it's still like it's covered in like the food still. Like
Is it my dad?
no, no, that one was remember taken by accident.
Oh yeah, it's in Jenkins' pocket.
Wait, I thought I took the one of his wife.
I did not have a picture of my wife
No,
out.
you took his dad's
I
photo,
took the dad. Oh, that's right.
and it's still in your inventory, by
yeah,
the way.
it is. I have it written down in my book. That's totally with me.
So, Eduardo, you find another one. It's covered in like food and stuff like that. So if you write on it, because remember, you wouldn't have like a pen. It would just be like charcoal, basically. it's not going correctly, so you gotta like dig into the paper. At one point, you're gonna like leave a little hole or stuff like that in it, but it's legible.
And on that piece of paper, he just like scratches into it essentially with whatever charcoal or piece that I have for my notebook. Just from big guy,
Aw.
get good hand.
Are you gonna still hide Wyatt, or you know reveal yourself?
I'm letting this happen. I want to see if he like tries to like sneak out after.
Yeah. Eduardo just kind of like folds the paper in such a way that's like propped up next to the milk carton, like very daintily, very dainty despite his size.
For a minute, I thought you were gonna say he like origamis it into a cow or something. I thought like, for
He
some
origamis
reason.
it into a finger.
Fuck it, can I roll for origami cow?
You know what? Yeah.
All right, we're rolling for origami cow. I don't know what
That's
this
got to
is.
be a cool roll.
Eduardo
That's
gets
good.
a nat 12 and makes a perfect cow.
There we go. It doesn't matter what it is. It's a perfect cow origami.
Perfect origami cow with just big guy scrawled across the side of it.
You've even like pinched some of the edges so it has udders. Like it is scary how well this was.
Wait, I found the perfect image. I'm gonna drop it in
And I just
chat.
was it the whole time. Wyatt's just standing in the door frame, just watching.
Eduardo gets the origami cow, just like places it daintily and just kind of like hands on his hips, just like very proud. Just, this is good. This is good.
Eduardo did good.
Eduardo instinctively is just like, this is good. Grabs one of the bottles and starts to sip from it. And realizes very quickly, he's just like, hey, this was for senior. And like tries to like hide it in between the bottles. Just looks really quick back at Wyatt. Are you still looking at me?
He's just still standing, watching.
Are you gonna notice Wyatt now?
I turn back and I see Wyatt. And I just kind of like, and like give him like a little wave, and then just book it out of the jail.
Roll act under pressure. I want to see. I want to see if you can flee.
I'm gonna gain a whole level just in this one interaction alone.
I love it.
Act under pressure.
That's
Yeah.
why this game is great.
That is a 7.
So you trip a little bit when you go, but you run out. But through the window, Wyatt, you can see that he has just fled outside and then duck behind the window. He doesn't flee. He's just still there.
He's still covering the window because he's so big.
Yeah, you're just in front of it.
No, he's doing like the Tony Chopper in One Piece.
Yeah. Wyatt, what are you gonna do?
I'll go read the note.
Okay.
He'll like fumble trying to open it because
Yeah, it's a very impressive origami
and
cow.
he's right-handed.
Oh yeah, you made origami note for a man that is missing a finger.
I mean, to be fair, you don't really use your pinky to.
That
No,
is
but
true.
his hand's like bandaged.
It's still
Oh,
bandaged.
that's true.
Like
I
he
haven't
has
gotten to that part
functionality
yet.
outfit. Yeah, he's still like it can function, but like it's still heavily bandaged.
Yeah, so he's like, oh, he's like, motherfucker, god damn it. And he gets it, he reads it, and it said what? From big guy, get good
From big guy.
hand.
Get good hand.
Obsessed.
Pretty good.
English is like his 4th language, so this is the best I can
Yeah.
do.
You fucking insulting me?
You just hear a very like from outside the window, just a muffled.
He's just a big baby.
God, Eduardo is the most baby girl.
I mean, the
He is-
the paper's covered in food. It's insulting him, telling him to get good.
Hand.
But what about the milk?
He'll drink a bottle of milk.
It is fresh milk, which means it is unpasteurized and it is warm.
A solid at least 90 degrees.
He'll do the thing like when you take a sip and you're like, ugh.
And we're in the desert. You are
Yeah.
drinking milk in the desert.
But it's fresh.
It's fresh.
Yeah, so he'll be like, oh, like it's like regular milk. He'll take a sip and just like spit it out immediately. Just like not
Right.
even on anything, like back in the jug, just like on the floor. Like,
Eduardo then, like from outside, is just you hear him scribbling through his notebook. Just Wyatt, no leche.
like this he says to himself, like, this fucking place.
Are you gonna go near Eduardo, or you're just gonna continue on?
Eduardo's just looking through the window.
He'll look at him and thanks.
You're welcome, senor. Like very close to you, but yelling as if I'm very far away.
Just through a window.
He'll put the milk down and he's gonna start his day.
Eduardo, you gonna go back in? You gonna
Eduardo got a thank you, so he's very happy. You just hear him kind of like
Aww,
and then
baby girl.
just scamper off
Oh,
to
yeah.
who fucking knows wherever the next plot relevant point is.
I'm
Alright.
going to the blacksmith.
All right. I mean, you're going to the blacksmith. We'll say at this point as well, when you would be leaving the boarding house, you know, you got a job to do. Jenkins, would you have arrived back in town or into Main Street, or like still just hanging out at home?
So yeah, he starts his morning out just like he doesn't have any money, so he drinks some of his moonshine. That's all he
right.
has.
Wake up.
He is poor as anything, and then he eats a little bit of beans from the can that he has, and then he'll go into Gold Rush Supplies. There it is, number 9.
That is like a
Yeah.
mining store.
Yeah. So after he eats some beans in his front yard, he has a normal spot that he always sits in. And then he'll go into town and just mosey on in, slightly intoxicated, not fully intoxicated, just enough to make it through the day. And he goes into the mining shop, and he's gonna try and get some just mining supplies.
All right.
And I assume he's within like the general vicinity at that point of everybody.
Yeah, like Wynn, as you leave Eduardo, you said Eduardo fled, but I would still assume that you're like within Main Street.
Yeah, Eduardo got everything that he wanted to get done already. So like he milked the cows. That's really his only thing that he does.
All right.
And now he's just taking a little stroll, feeling all happy that he helped the sheriff.
Oh, Jenkins is wearing clothes.
Thank God.
Oh, thank you for the clarification.
This is
Yes.
important. I was gonna say if he was freeballing it through the rest of the campaign.
Are they washed or are they still
true.
dirty?
The brothel never washed the clothes.
They're his
Okay.
old clothes.
So all of you would see one another as like you exit the street. Cyrus, obviously you're still at the mortuary. I'm gonna get to you.
But I was looking at the map, right? And it's like you can pretty much see the sheriff's office and the bank from, it looks like, where the
Yeah, you would all see each other.
So I like this idea that he sees like Eduardo try come in and then flee and then just wait at the window. Like he's so he's just like fuck these motherfuckers. Like fuck all that.
Yeah. So you just would see one another as you begin the day.
What's an assay office?
In the what?
Assay office? AS number 10. Red Rock Assay Office.
I think that's the ore place.
Like
yeah.
the mining company or whatever.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I learned this via Google. An assay is a place where you can bring in ore and it is judged in terms of quality as well as identified.
Ah, very interesting.
So it's like a jeweler's kind of.
Kind of.
And that is why you subscribe to our Patreon, because we have tons of educational stuff over on our Patreon.
Do we? Are you gonna put it
Yeah.
together?
I'm not signing up for that.
Roll No Evil is an educational podcast that just happens to be funny.
Roll no evil.
The more you
roll
know.
no
Do do do
evil.
do 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 do.
It's not really a jewelry shop because they're not selling jewelry, but it's where you can just bring in gemstones and ore.
I'm just picturing Adam Sandler uncut gems just chilling in the office.
I would picture more you ever go into those places that sell quartz and stuff like that?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
It
it's
just
a
looks like
crystal
that,
shop.
but it's like a crystal shop, but it's just gold.
Can we call it Moonbeam?
Sorry, did somebody say crystal? Somebody say crystal? Does Crystal Moonbeam work there? No. No, it's Crystal Moonbeam's cousin. Fucking Gem.
Roxanne?
Roxanne.
Gem Sunburst.
Sure.
Fuck, that's Trev put the best name in the fucking chat, which is Roxanne.
That's what I was
Rox.
trying
So
to get
funny.
at.
ROCKS
Yeah.
space ANNE.
Yeah.
Rocks and.
Roxanne.
If I didn't have an Eddie bit going, that would be my next character.
But yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. You have to bring something in.
Alright.
But you're going to a mining store, right?
That's where he'll go first.
All right, the
Yeah.
mining store is
It's number 9. Gold.
Yeah.
We're all basically like right in. A
you're right
line.
near each other. You
Yeah.
see each other, so feel free, folks, if you want to like go to one other person.
We do the Spider-Man pointing thing.
Yeah. As you try to enter the mining store, you walk in and there's the man who runs it, but then there's also 2 other guys that are there. They're picking up like pickaxes and like supplies. You've been in town as well. You have been mining. You know these 2, but I need you to roll investigate a mystery based on how much you know about them.
Oh shit! Oh, that's way. So
You
that's
gotta
a
use the
5
roll.
Plus, you said investigate a mystery.
Yep.
That is a 10 total.
All right, so yeah, you know these guys. You have seen them many a times.
I mean, I've been here forever.
You've been here forever, but you especially know them, considering they're the only other 2 prospectors in town. As well, they frequently go up to the mine that's nearby, Vulture Gulf.
And since it's so closely related to basically the whole reason why I'm in this town, I assume Jenkins would actually call them by their name purposely.
Call them by their name?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know them. They are brothers. They are Lincoln and Martin Rubes. Right now they're a duo. But you do remember another brother at one point that was around, and the Rubes trio at the time.
You said Lincoln?
Lincoln and Martin Rubes.
Did they have a third brother, Ulysses?
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay. I had to pull up my notes for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So Jenkins waddles up to the front door, steals himself for a second, breathes in real deep, and pushes in. Oh.
Yeah. The Rubes brothers like immediately give you a stink eye as you go in. They're older men like you. One brother has salt and pepper hair, the other's just pure white. They're mean looking. They're wearing like matching like denim overalls and like shirts. They're already covered in like debris from mining, stuff like that. And they are just giving you the stink eye as they grab their stuff from the counter as they had wrapped up a purchase.
Oh. Lincoln? Martin?
They both in unison just kind of squint their eyes and just like, Jenkins.
Where's your brother?
They like, they look at each other and they look back to you and it's like, what do you need? What, Ulysses?
He was coming up with a new design for panhandling, something to make it a lot easier to look at a whole bunch of stuff. Like, just basically you dump it into this big old like trough and it just kind of like runs it down the trough, and he has a design and I want to look at it. Is he here?
Lincoln, he's got like chewing tobacco in his lip and you can just like, he does that like weird like noise. I've only met one person who uses chewing tobacco and it's always a particular sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it.
Any of our listeners in Ohio would know what that sounds like.
Target.
Also, anyone in Ohio would agree with me.
Our massive viewership in Ohio.
Is that our... Actually, I don't know what our number 1 state is. I'm going to look up what Ohio is on the rank.
I'm like trying to chew bread to try to emulate the sound, but it's like a sucking through your teeth.
It's a weird noise.
It's not quite like a, but it's more of like a...
Yeah, it's very odd, the noise.
No, but strangely enough, Ohio is one of the biggest uses of chewing tobacco in the United States, so...
This really is an educational podcast.
Sorry to the 2% of our American listeners from Ohio.
Yeah.
Wait, we actually have viewership in Ohio?
Ohio exists?
Yeah, we do. We have 2%.
Holy shit.
Like the milk.
So, Lincoln, he, make that noise with the chewing tobacco and he just goes, if he invents something new, he went to go strike his fortune somewhere else.
Wait, what? He left Bittermesa? Why'd he leave Bittermesa?
Martin, narrows his brow and he, leans a little forward. He goes, that ain't any of your business.
Well, hot dog! That just means more gold for me.
Not if we find it first.
He'll pull out a bottle of just, regular alcohol and slurp it up, just... This is all on me.
Lincoln takes the pickaxe that he had just bought and he just strings it up a bit higher on his shoulder, and he goes, "You damn drunkard. Wearing those mines every day, and we don't ever even see you.
I'm striking for gold just in my own place."
While you do that, we're gonna go make our riches." And they just kind of like part to go on either side of you, and purposely both of them just hit your shoulder with theirs. So both of your shoulders are hit down. You're gonna stumble a bit, and the brothers leave.
Stinking no good sidewinders. Jenkins walks up to the counter. "Well, morning, Thaddeus. How you doing?"
Thaddeus is an elderly man. He's like hunched back, white whiskers. He kind of like grins. There's a majority of his teeth are missing. "Oh, you know how it go. I'm upright."
Yeah, just happy to wake up on the right side of the grass or dirt.
"I'm just happy to wake up." He like is tickled by his own joke and just like slaps his leg.
You know, Thaddeus, you're one of the few people that keeps me waking up every day here. I'm glad that you're still here. What's your take on the new sheriff? What do you know about him?
Thaddeus kind of like whistles as he thinks and goes, "Well, you know how it is. We've seen our fair share of sheriffs out here. If he anything like the last one, I think we'll be doing pretty good. Of course, he don't die like the last one."
So, what about the other badged feller?
That Marshall man.
Yeah, what do you know about him?
I don't know much. I mean, he ain't a prospector like us honest folk." And he like takes the straps of his own overalls and like snaps them, and he just goes, "I don't know too much. I really can't tell you."
Yeah, he's a sketchy little feller. I don't know what to think of him.
"Oh, we've seen fair amount of those folks over here. I mean, I remember when this town was coming up, all these new gangs coming to town when the railroad was put in. They all came in, stuff like that. That's the sheriff's problem. All I am here is to service the prospecting business of Bittermesa in the Hasadema Valley. Thank you very much."
I remember when it was coming up too. I ever tell you about what trying to bring my never mind. Do you have you got? Yeah, I need some new mining equipment since we got all that information out of the way. I need a new pickaxe.
He whistles again, just kind of like, "You know me, Jenkins. We've been friends for quite a long time.
Oh,
Quite
yeah.
a long time. But it's ever since the unpleasantness, that unpleasant visitor has come to town, and especially with the railroads, people ain't mining in the valley all that much.
Gosh dang railroads.
My business be suffering. There's only 3 of yous now. No longer even 4 ever since that other Rube's brother left town. I don't know about that personally, but I'm gonna need to start paying here, buddy, for new equipment.
But you know what I'm good for.
In the sake of our friendship, no.
As they're having this little discussion about him not being able to pay, you just hear like the creaking of the floorboards as Eduardo's gargantuan ass foot just steps up and just comes in very, very all happy, still kind of giggling from his milk delivery. Senor Jenkins!
Oh, hey there, big guy.
What brings you here, amigo?
Do you know what I do here? What makes me such a respectable person in this establishment?
Cocktail.
It has never been revealed what you do for a living.
Don't worry about it.
That's true.
I assume you're a janitor of some kind.
What?
Well, you're already in the mess.
I only wish I could be a janitor. That is such a respectable job, helping other people, being kind to one another.
Amen.
Shout out to janitors.
Shout out to janitors.
Shout out.
Now, I made some choices in my life. where now I came here back a long time. I won't tell you how long ago, but I'm here for gold. I'm here for money. You see, back in those hills over there, there's lots of gold, and there's lots of gold out there.
In the rare time where Jenkins knows exactly where something is, he is actually pointing in the direction where the Vulture Gulf mines would be.
See, I never had enough money to buy a promissory note to go into the mine, so I panhandle at the river.
A promising note?
It's like a writ of passage to be able to mine for gold in the mines.
Oh, like the milker's license.
Yeah, it's like a license.
You milk mountains, I understand.
Yes, I milk the mountains with rivers of hot streaming gold.
I don't like that.
I don't know where that came from, Travis, but that's my new favorite line so far. You milk them.
You milk the mountains.
That should be that's merch.
Episode
That's a
whatever this
sticker.
is.
That's the episode
Writing
name.
it down right now. You
Please,
milk
episode
them.
whatever this is, milk the mountains.
That's it.
Milk the mountains.
Do we have a quotes channel? We really should have a quotes channel.
I'm making one right now. Go on, the two of you.
Yeah, please.
Except, big guy, I never had the money to get into the mine, so I just have to. I have to start small, you know. So I have a house over there. You see it?
Eduardo just kind of like looks out and like squints really hard.
It's over yonder on the river.
I see what appears to be a structure.
It's the best I can make. Anyway, I live there, right on the river, and I pan for gold, and hopefully one time I can get gold so I can buy a writ of passage into the mines.
How much is this passage?
I don't know what it costs now. I've been here for too long, and the price has gone up.
Inflation.
That he is from behind. He just goes, costs about $5. I don't set the price myself, but that is how much it do be costing.
Ay caramba!
Thaddeus just kind of like leans forward and he goes, man, when you started saving up, I mean, there wasn't a white hair on that itty bitty face.
Now there's white. Never mind, I'm not gonna go there.
No,
I knew exactly where you were going with it.
Go for it.
Do it.
Say
Do it, coward.
Say
Do
it,
it.
coward.
Now there's more white hairs on my face than there are on my rear end.
That's what you were gonna say?
We know what you're gonna say.
What color are Jenkins' pubes, damn it?
There we go. We're asking the real question. Investigate a mystery.
Investigate a mystery.
Done.
Do the curtains. Match the drapes.
You gotta ask the brothel. They'll know.
No. He's a respectable person. He's taken, remember?
They gave him the bath.
No, they just flung him in a shower. They don't look.
Oh, okay.
They didn't want to touch him.
Also, again, nobody has asked Jenkins that he's a taken man.
True.
After last season, I don't want to know about people's weird relationships with people that are not.
Daisy, give me your answer to.
That scarred me. That it's like I don't want to know what Jenkins is fucking. I don't want to know.
Anyway, big guy, looks like I can't afford a pickaxe today, so I have to go pan some extra materials next door, and I'll be right back, Thaddeus. I promise you, by the end of the day, I will have the money. Have a great day, big guy. Maybe I'll see you around. You got any food? I'm kind of hungry.
Eduardo just kind of like pats around him.
It's okay. Don't worry. He'll pat you on the stomach. I'll find something somewhere else, and he'll shuffle out of the front door.
You do see Wyatt as he is heading that way. Winifred, you would have left the boarding house, so you would have saw Wyatt as well.
Well, Jenkins will take his hat off. How do you do, Sheriff? How's your hand feeling?
It hurts.
I bet. But you're still alive. You're breathing. You're on the right side of the grass. You're upright and breathing.
Yeah. So are you.
Unfortunately.
Riveting
This is
conversation.
good podcasting.
Yeah, so as Jenkins kind of storms off,
Not storms off. He's literally just walking away.
as he storms with the rage of 1,000 suns, as Jenkins leaves, Eduardo like takes a moment to realize which place he's in, because he just kind of went in because he saw Jenkins,
Mm-hmm.
and is like looking around at like all the tools and various accoutrements of the miners, and just turns to Thaddeus and says,
This license. How close is Jenkins gotten to being able to go to the mines?
Thaddeus just kind of like thinks and thinks and thinks, and then he goes, "Not at all."
Not even a single dollar.
He goes, I've known Jenkins here for quite a bit. I mean, any money he gets a little weak in the wallet around the drink, what he's making or otherwise. He ain't put any money down so far, but he's gonna get there one day if those Rubes brothers don't empty out the mountain.
This life, it brings many temptations. What? How does he care for his wife?
He just kind of like narrows down and goes, "You don't gotta worry about caring for her anymore, if you get my drift."
Eduardo does not get the drift at all. Eduardo just kind of stares blankly like, yeah.
He realizes very quickly that you don't understand, so what he does instead is he just makes the sign of the cross around, like staring straight at you, like, get it?
I see.
Do you, boy?
She became a nun.
She became a sister.
Eduardo just kind of like nods his head and like looks up to the sky, does the quick cross himself.
Shame about her and the youngin'.
He had a child.
I don't want to pry into Jenkins's business, but
Oh, please do. It's great for content.
For the listeners, all of our faces just dropped at the sound when you said that.
All of us are leaning into our computer screens right now. I'm so here for this.
Daddy is just kind of like whistles again, like breathing in, just thinking, and he just goes, "Me and Jenkins been around here quite a bit. There's been conflict here in the West. Let me just say, Jenkins he be the one to tell you, not because I don't know, but because he's a good friend, and what he wants to tell, he wants to tell. I already said too much, and I already now gotta go to penance because I've been letting out too much info."
It seems many people these days wish to go to the church. I've had Madam Henrietta told me to go to the church. Perhaps we go together.
Oh, yeah. You all saw what was coming into town. Many a people have flocked to the church house. After that, Father Milton is been a source of comfort, we shall say.
We are all but sheep in this shepherd's flock, no?
He gestures to the milk bottle. He goes, or, cows in the ranch. Kind of like chuckles to himself for his pun.
Eduardo just lets out the heartiest laugh, kind of shaking the dust out of the ceiling rafters, just as
Outside, Wyatt and Winifred,
The fuck was that?
you would hear that very clearly.
Fucking earthquake?
Yeah.
Whoa, is it Christmas time already?
Oh no, he's back.
ho ho ho.
He's trying to take me up to the North Pole again. Because Jenkins is incredibly short.
I like the canon that Jenkins' mortal enemy is just Santa.
It's like the American Dad where they fight Santa every Christmas.
Yeah.
He lets out this hearty laugh and just kind of like does a little friendly pat on the shoulder, but because it's Eduardo, it's like being hit with a phone book.
Yeah.
Just taps him on the shoulder. And
He is an old fucking man.
He's dead.
So he just falls to the ground, frozen. Like, you think you've heard him for a second, but then he just also, like, with that weird old man energy, also just, like, on the ground, just starts wiggling, laughing.
It's just laughter is just erupting out of this. What is it? An assery? What is this called?
Sorry.
Assay?
No, you're not in the
No,
assay.
you're not in the.
You're
not
in the
there.
mining.
No, we went that last episode, but
This
I
would be
think maybe.
no. This would be the just the mining store, like Gold Rush Supplies.
Gotcha. He picks Thaddeus back up from the ground and says, "It is a new day. Let us go to church." Something I never thought I'd say in 2024.
I gotta, man the grounds, as you can see. Only 3 of them in town nowadays, but I take my job importantly. You wanna go over it? Sometimes Father Milton is around, sometimes he isn't. So
Eduardo just kind of leans into Thaddeus and says, "Then, if you cannot go with me, perhaps you can help a friend."
what can I do for you, son?
You see, I have not been here long, but Jenkins has. And he has been kind to me. I wish to return that kindness, but I need your help.
What can I do?
I would like this promising license.
Well, he just kind of like rolls his shoulders, like thinking with like one eye, like he squints one eye and looks the other one up as he's like thinking, and it's just glaucoma. Like he ain't seen shit. He goes, well, I can get that all rearranged. All I need is the money for that and a signature from the sheriff.
This is wonderful. This is great news.
Eduardo just kind of like reaches around
And says, question, senor. Do you accept holy milk as payment?
I accept currency or gold.
Perhaps this may be more difficult than Eduardo originally thought.
I pictured like a telenovela, like he looks up as he says this. I've just been picturing Eduardo doing dramatic angles.
But Eduardo just kind of like looks up and thinks. He's kind of like tapping his foot, which again, because it's Eduardo, is just like, it almost feels like a hammer is hitting the floor.
Aftershock.
Eduardo just kind of looks down and goes,
For my friends.
and takes his bandolier and just kind of unclips it and throws it over one shoulder so that he can reach inside the chest pocket in his leather fringe jacket and just pulls out a little pouch.
How much was it again, sir?
$5 whole.
Let us make a deal. If I pay you now, you give me the promising notice, and Jenkins is free to find his treasures. But if Jenkins does find his treasures and brings the 2 pounds of gold to you, I get my money back.
Roll manipulate.
That's plus charm, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That is an 11. Can't say no to this face.
Yeah, just looking at that face, but also, he's old friends with Jenkins. He goes, all right. And he just kind of like from one of like the drawers, like behind the desk, he pulls out the note. He signs it, his name on there. It says, Thaddeus Yates. And yes, that is a Holes reference.
I was gonna ask.
Stanley Yelnats.
He signs the note. It says, Thaddeus Yates. It's about the size of like one of those larger index cards that you can get that comes in packs. But he just gives you, get that signed by the sheriff, bring me the money, and he ready to go. And you get your money's back.
You are doing a great kindness.
He goes, asking for an old friend.
Eduardo just takes the little note and tucks it back into that pocket where he was originally going to pull out his money from, slings his bandolier over the other shoulder and clips it back into place, and just he doesn't have a hat, but he like reaches up as if he does and just kind of
just mimics.
Just leans.
Good day.
Eduardo is just taking out a loan in Jenkins' name.
Eduardo has committed 2 crimes today.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out Jenkins' social security. It's probably 1.
But also, to be fair, Jenkins isn't taking on any of the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm getting you a free promissory note.
If I sign.
Well, no, you haven't given me anything yet. You are getting a free promissory. Well, not free. You're
No,
paying
so
for it.
Eduardo has to still get the money. He still has to get the $5. And he's going to not have those $5. He's putting down a down payment, basically.
Okay. Still very funny to me, though.
Yeah, as if it's like renters and like a security deposit.
This is my pet deposit.
Yeah.
Also,
Stop.
Jenkins hasn't accepted it yet.
Jenkins could just say, fuck you, no. It's all, he could do what he wants. All right, so you have to get the money, and you have to get the sheriff's signature. There is that spot for a stamp that he did not put on. So you got to get those 2 things. The sheriff in question, you're heading over to the gun shop?
Yeah, gun shop, and then he's gonna go to the mortuary.
I have the residue that the barber told me to bring to the gun store, so you don't got shit, my dude.
Yeah.
I'm going for a gun.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
going
he
for
needs a
supplies.
Oh yeah,
He's got no
I
gun.
forgot about that. I forgot that you got fucking wrecked.
I became a holy man.
Oh God. All right. So Winifred, you would have probably exited the boarding house around the same time that Wyatt is heading over. Do you kind of like meet him as he's walking that way? Wyatt, you're already on that way
I
right
would
now.
say no. I would say she still feels really bad about everything that happened.
That she had no reason to feel upset about.
Look, she got the kid to stand out there because he was trying to warn her. She was just like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Get the fuck inside." And then he died. And then Wyatt came out to help. So she feels responsible. So until she has that money, she's kind of like, or like, she doesn't want to face him yet. But she's gonna go to where Cyrus is at the Undertaker because she remembers that. And she's like, "Oh, if I get some information to give to him, maybe that'll be nice."
All right. So, before we get into that, then Wyatt, we'll first stop with you at the gun shop. It is much like everything else. It's pretty atypical. This one though has a bit more metal on the outside, so it's instead of like a regular window that you see, it's just kind of like metal bars that are there instead with a curtain. It's a bit more plain looking than everything else. There's no paint, no nothing. The door is propped open. You can see like the little like step up to get in, and the steps are well worn. People have frequented this shop pretty often.
He's going in.
The store is pretty like shallow in terms of the front. It's got just regular tables that have like the guns on there that you could just pick up and mess around with. So ones that you just go to the front. There's bullets. It's not that fancy. It isn't like in boxes. They're just kind of like in little like bags that you can get. There's one person behind the counter. It's a middle-aged man, longish hair, some white hair in the back, pale skin, freckles all around. But behind, you can see that it's open actually in the back, and all of like, the smithing material to make the guns. And there's like a beefy woman as she is like hitting and like forging everything. The man behind the counter smiles as you come in and goes, "Welcome, sir." And he kind of like squints his eyes and points and goes, "You're that new sheriff, aren't you?"
I am.
"Mighty nice to meet you." And he just kind of leans over the counter quite a bit, extends a hand. He goes, Jack Piston. Nice to meet you."
Out of habit, Wyatt's gonna do his hand, and he'll shake it because he's out of habit. Ah, fuck.
Jack just kind of like moves back a little bit, just like, "Oh, fuck."
Sorry. New.
Behind the woman in the back like lifts her head up a bit, and she just goes, "Jack, are you kidding me?" And he just goes, I didn't know, sweetheart. I didn't see the hand." And they just start like bickering back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, my fault. Happened yesterday.
The woman just kind of like sighs and like gives the stink eye to Jack, and she goes, "Excuse my husband. There's a reason that I don't let him around the tools no more."
I'll trust your word.
Jack just kind of like sighs, and he like goes back and he goes, "That be my wife Nora. She is the gunsmith in our little establishment. I apologize, sir. I didn't notice the hand. Nobody told me nothing."
I shook it. But nice to meet you, Jack. It's I'm Wyatt Holmes.
His brows like kind of flow up because this is the first time you've, other than like Dusty.
Cat's out of the bag, so.
Yeah. Word travels fast in town, but yesterday was eventful, so he goes, "Holmes?" And in the back, you could see Nora. She was like going back to finish her work, but like stops and turns back. He goes, "You were related to Butch?"
The old man.
The two just kind of like look to one another and look back. Just like, "Our condolences, first off."
Appreciated.
Nora, she had been wearing like, something like to protect her face. Not like a welder's mask, but like, some sort of hat that had like a little like dip there to help protect her face. She takes it off. She's got like short black hair. She's a big woman, probably around like 6'2". She like comes over. Jack is a tiny man. You then realize you didn't realize he's behind the counter. He's like 5'1".
Nice. Climb that mountain.
Actually, it's Milk That Mountain.
No,
That's true. He would be milking that mountain.
Get the name of the episode right, damn it.
Okay.
I hate that because canonically I have it in there. They do have children.
Oh,
So
no.
Oh, that mountain's been tapped.
anyway, so
He's prospecting that mountain.
anyhow, So,
Moving on.
Nora, she removed that hat. She like moves over to stand near Jack behind the counter, and she just goes, "Mighty fine man, knew his guns."
That's what I've been hearing.
Obviously, Jack said like his condolences the first off, and he goes, "I knew another sheriff came to town. I didn't know, you were following your daddy's footsteps."
I asked Dusty to keep it that way.
Nora just like barks out a laugh. She could not help herself. Jack just kind of like, he looks visibly confused and goes, "You asked Dusty to keep a secret?"
Hey, they did.
Nora just kind of like, she collects herself. She goes, "This was a fluke. I've known Dusty for quite a bit. This was a fluke. I mean, you tell them something, you have a better chance keeping it secret by painting it on the barn door. If you get my drift."
We got to know each other quite a bit in the past several weeks.
Nora like crosses her arms and like leans back and goes, "Where was I've known Dusty for nearly 20 years. Where the hell was that? When we were trying to keep, when we first get a secret, when I asked him to send a telegram, when the first one was born, where was any of that?" And Jack just kind of goes, "Immediately told at the church house in front of everybody in full volume."
I like to think the missus kind of swayed them to keep the secret.
And Nora just kind of goes, I want to know the secret, all right? Dusty is... She just like leans forward on the thing, and you could see like Jack just kind of be like, "Is this really the time?" But Nora's clearly ignoring him. "Do you know why Dusty got the telegram job?"
I'm going to assume that they like to talk.
"They like to talk. They like to know. We don't get a lot of entertainment out here. Dusty is in the middle of everything. They have to read all the telegrams and, telegram, tele-Dusty."
I've heard that before.
That was a great joke. That was a great joke. That was a good fucking joke.
I didn't make that up. I heard that telegram, telephone, something. I didn't make that joke up.
It was good.
Oh my God.
It was good. Just wanted to highlight it was good shit.
Yeah.
But Nora leans back and goes, "You know what the funny part is, too? Dusty's cousin works in town. He runs the hitching post. You can't get a damn word out of that man. But you blink in Dusty's direction, Dusty's gonna tell you the telegram they sent that day. Alright? Nothing deeper." She just looks annoyed thinking about this.
Oh, I just got my way with people,
Jack just looks up at Nora and is just like, "Sweetheart, maybe this can be said over the saloon. And he turns back to you. He's like, "We would love, next time we're there and we see you, we would love to get you a drink. But right now, you're coming in. I assume you're here for business."
Yeah, I don't know if you caught what happened yesterday.
"That we did not. I mean..."
He'll hold his hand up.
Both of them immediately just go like, sharp breath through their teeth. Nora accurately describes your old gun, like, to the T. And she just goes, "I think you can see that we weren't hanging our heads out. I mean, we were in our cellar. You didn't see nothing. We didn't know nothing. Is the gun broken? Is it..."
Oh, it's exploded. That thing shot it square to hell. And me, too.
Nora just kind of like narrows her eyes and looks over at Jack as if to say like, "I told you." And then looks back over at you and just goes, "I had a hunch that what kind of gun did that thing have?" And Jack just kind of like goes, "Sweetheart, I don't know if this is the time." And he like, you see Nora just kind of like, she like clenches her jaw, but she doesn't like follow up. She's like,
Tell you what, when I take care of it, I'll give it to you.
Nora perks up for a second, like, "Ooh," and then goes, "You're gonna take you're as crazy as your daddy."
So I've heard. Mom always said apple didn't fall far from the tree.
She just kind of like chuckles, but so does Jack, and they're just like, "We got some youngins. We know how that goes." As if to demonstrate, there's like the desk, but then there's a little like thing that you can pull up to open. Like you could see there's a hinge, but as Jack opens it, it just like comes clean off the side. And he goes, "One of our youngins inherited a bit of North strength, as you can see. Caused quite a ruckus in the schoolhouse."
I can only imagine.
Jack just puts it back, but then like smiles as he puts it down. I mean, it's broken, but like his kid did it. But enough of that bad that. How can we help you?
Well, I looked through the office and Butch's things and trying to see if he had a gun laying around I could get, but kind of got nothing. And I heard you two were the ones to talk to about getting a replacement.
Nora just like squints her brow and she goes, was he buried with the gun?
Haven't been up there yet.
You ask the Undertaker. I mean, I know that when he does, gets the body all prepared, he removes some things from there. Maybe he has the gun, but, in the meantime, I mean, you can get a replacement.
What would that run me?
Depends what you get. Jack, he lifts the broken, whatever it was, like gate, puts it back down, and he walks you over to like one of the sides of the little showroom that's there. There's a little pistol, there is a bigger handgun, and then the other is like a true like rifle. Like it just goes up in terms of like power and like style, going from like the tiniest to like a bigger one. And he just goes, depends what you get, the little models, and he points to like a little handgun. He goes, that'd be about $3.50. The bigger one will be about $15. But that's like the low to the big end.
That's almost the price of your hand.
Wyatt will he'll like fiddle with his bandage and kind of free up his 3 fingers that are left, and he's still got his pinky gone, and he'll pick up just like a regular revolver and kind of like spin it around, but it's not as good as it once was as he did it, but he can still spin it and he can still like handle it.
Yeah.
But then he'll put it down and just be like, little too much. I'll have to see if I can find Dad's.
Jack just nods and he goes, well, I'll keep that one on the side. Just in case you change your mind, we'll just keep that behind the counter for you. Hopefully you can find your daddy's. Again, I would go up to the mortuary with that. Good luck. It makes like a grimace face as he does say that. Just like, ugh.
Dusty's said a few things about him as well, so we'll see.
Yeah, that he's fucking weird.
I mean, you deal with dead people all day, you're gonna be.
You hear Nora in the back. She does not sugarcoat it. She's just like, he is fucking off his goddamn rocker.
Those ones kind of make the town interesting,
No. Before that thing came to town, I mean, he was the boogeyman. I mean, he ain't done nothing. He just weird as fuck.
Speaking of, when did that thing start coming to town?
Roll investigate a mystery.
Did somebody say boogie?
Oh, boogeyman, yeah.
Yes.
I've just been sitting here like silently chanting to myself, gun, hand, gun, hand, gun, hand.
It just turns into Evil Dead.
Wait, are we getting Ash?
Yeah.
Go gadget, gun, hand.
This is my boomstick.
That is a 13.
Ooh. Jack barely thinks for a second. He goes, you would have to check with the others, but I'm pretty sure about the time your daddy died.
I'll ask the mortician too, but you know who the first person was that it took?
You would have to ask the mortician. I know, but I could be wrong. And he kind of like lowers his voice, and he doesn't say, but you get the inflection he means Butch. It was, but you have to check with mortician. I don't know for sure. Because we all found him. And he looks almost like kind of embarrassed as he says it. We found him that morning we woke up, but there could have been someone before. We do not know. You would have to ask mortician. He would know. Or Father Milton. I mean, he does last rites and stuff like that, but one of the two, I would say.
I'll be go talk to the mortician.
And like the series is before, as if the mention of mortician, he kind of like shivers. Oh, look, what happened, Nancy? And he takes the pistol they were looking at, and he goes, okay, and like gestures like, I'm gonna put it behind the counter for you, just in case you change your mind.
I appreciate it. I'll if I get a hold of Dad's gun, I'll bring it by. Maybe you could do a little tune-up on it.
You can roll manipulate to see if he does it on the house.
That's what I'm doing. That is a 12. Dirty.
Okay, dirty 12. Okay. Jack just goes, absolutely, and on the house. We'll fix it up.
I appreciate that. Tip his hat, and he'll go towards the mortuary.
Mm-hmm. So Cyrus, you had been waiting outside.
Yeah, I think he basically, as soon as he hears like any type of movement inside the mortuary, like he basically is like at the door. Like I think he's been waiting, like trying to like wait for some sort of noise to be like, nah, this man's finally fucking awake. Or this person is finally awake.
Yeah, it would probably be at the same time that like Wyatt is at the gun shop, so like around this time. So when you wouldn't be there yet, you're on your way there, but right now it's just Cyrus. The mortuary is, unlike every other building, it's not made of wood. It's made out of stone. Like stone bricks, like nothing fancy, but just like the same stone that you can see behind is a graveyard. I keep saying nothing fancy, but again, it's nothing spectacular looking. It is a rock wall that is built up that surrounds the graveyard with, I'm gonna say, about 20 to 30 headstones. It's been around for so long. You would have to look at the dates, but something that's like, all right, people have been buried here for a while.
Can potentially, while Cyrus was waiting for the mortuary to open up, he did go look at the gravestones and wanted to see like how old the oldest ones are, what the newest one was, and just like before dawn or like just as dawn.
In his prime vampire hour.
Hey, you've seen me in the daylight. I think.
This is the day. This would
is
be
the day.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you would have like gone around.
Should I investigate the mystery of the graveyard?
Yep.
Fuck yeah. I'm rolling. That was an 8 for investigate a mystery.
You were able to just like, it's not a high rock fence. There is an opening, but you can see that it's like through the actual mortuary house, but it's not very high. You could just jump over it. There's a bit of a rhyme or reason. There are, there were squared away plots, stuff like that. There's no grass, of course. The graves some are a bit more worn down than others. Typically, they're made out of what looks to be like limestone that comes from the surrounding mesas, but not like the rock wall or the mortuary building itself. Some look a little bit fancier. Those ones you can see the names of. So one of the names you're able to see is departed Mr. Tice, who had died a week or so before everything that you had seen come to town.
So about a week ago.
Yeah, recently. Like enough because Mrs. Tice was going for the bereavement with the family, so it's still sort of recent. But obviously, there's the Old West. It's just got to travel that way. We're going to take a bit. That one, of course, it was a wealthy man. His is more taken care of. You can see the same flowers that were in the garden of the Tice house that were placed there, most likely for Mrs. Tice. Some of the older ones, it's pretty faded with the dates. Some look to be from like the century before, but like the end, it looks as though it would be the latter half. Nothing there. Some of them don't even have a headstone itself. It is just probably like a piece of equipment that owned by them. So one of them that you can see is like a miner shovel. Another one looks to be a about the size of a headstone, like a wooden train that was put on top. The newer ones, of course, you're able to see. So you're able to see ones for like I said, Mr. Tice as well. You're able to see where Butch's grave is. That one being, not that it's secluded in the back, but you can tell they try to put one that's a bit more out of the way, give him his own space. Next to it, though, you can see that the Undertaker must have been beginning to prepare the ground for another grave.
Did I hear him do that last night?
Probably, maybe, but nothing like you would know. Because it looks as though there were like a few there. You could see a few more graves as well that are a bit newer, no headstone. Nothing that would spark of like, oh, this is special. It's just another grave is being dug.
And Butch's gravestone, is that one of the like limestone fancier ones?
It is a nice headstone, but it's nothing like the Tice one. Like it's not like elegantly carved, but it's a respectable headstone.
Nice, not Tice.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah, nice, not Tice.
And then the other question is what's the date? Like how long ago is the date on Butch's death?
Like I said before, probably about like a month or so ago. That the same time that we have said, like Drew has said with Wyatt and stuff like that. It all matches up.
And then there are fresher graves with no headstone.
Yep. They probably haven't come in yet.
Okay, great. Thank you. So that was before. And so then whenever he starts to hear movement going, and I think, did Wynn come in?
Not yet. Wynn is on her way. It would just be you right now.
Hell yeah.
You would see her coming in, so you can wait for her if you want, but you can also just go right in. So you got the option.
He's going to wait.
Oh.
Okay.
I think it's going to be one of those moments where it's like he looks at the door, and then he looks back at Wynn, and he looks at the door, and he looks back at Wynn, and he just fucking sighs. Just one of these, like, full body, just like, and then, like, waits.
Wynn, you're going to come up and you see that Cyrus is standing there, we should say. You don't know if he's waiting, but you're standing there.
She's making her way, like walking with a purpose. She's got her red like neckerchief back on. She like washed it as best as she could, so like some parts are still a little darker than others. But she walks with a purpose, and then she like sees Cyrus, and she kind of slows her pace and walking up like, hi, good morning to you. I'm assuming you're here, same reason I am. Find out more stuff.
I picture that Cyrus is just looking at her the same way you're looking at her. Just like kind of head cocked.
It's just this like smalling head turn. And I think like, you know, it's one of those where like, it seems like she's pausing for him to say something and he just doesn't. He's just like waiting for it because he just stares at her.
Oh, righty then. Can I get the door for you? You're not gonna answer me. So she just opens the door and holds
I think
open.
before he sort of like steps to the side before she could get to the door.
Oh?
I said we would talk about that necklace later.
I'm guessing that later's not gonna be any later? I'll take your silence as a yes.
Just stares.
I was going to be like, manipulate. I don't think it's needed.
He just stares.
Yeah, no,
I think you're going to fold immediately.
I mean, he's blocking the door.
I mean, I can roll manipulate somebody.
No, I really think there is no need.
So what did you want to talk about? About the necklace?
Did you steal it, or is it yours?
No, it's mine.
Shame. Might have respected it a little more if you stole it.
Yeah, I get the whole silver's bad in this parts, but silver is actually useful against
I don't
cryptids
give
and
a
monster. Okay.
I couldn't care less about that whole silver, gold. I just want you to know one thing. I don't care about your money, and I don't care about your status. I'm not doing this for you.
I don't care about status either. I'm just wearing it to protect myself, because it actually works. Learned from experience. Trying to prove stuff's real. So let's go in and get questions to prove that creepy zombie monster dude is real.
You never did say where you're from.
I did not.
I think now's a little past time for you to say so.
I think you already know.
How long have you been traveling this side of the schism?
For a bit. Specifically here, I was following like a whole jackalope incidents, but yeah, I didn't get anything from that, so then I ended up here.
I think Cyrus takes a moment, and if you could see his full expression on his face, which you can't really see it, but if you could, it would almost be an expression of like, he's not sure whether he should ask this, but he kind of has a moment where he decides he is going to ask this. But like, he's conflicted about asking this. You and that camera of yours, you've seen some things, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything of a missing town?
Wynn, I need you to roll investigate a mystery.
Yes, please.
God, I wish there were history checks.
That is a 7.
I'm just going to also put this out here. Cyrus, if you want things to go a certain direction, you can roll help out to jog her memory.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely I do. Holy shit. Yeah, hell yeah. You kidding me?
Lore.
Okay, well, I'm gonna mark experience, because I level up though. Because that was a 5 plus 1 is a 6. So that's gonna mark experience, but I do level up.
Dude, I'm messaging you what does rattle around in the old noggin.
Yeah, I figure that going to the Wild West, a lot of stuff happens here, so vampires and other creatures are likely to be here. So, like, with that, I kind of heard a rumor of a town that went missing. There was, like, this weird negative that I once had from my camera that showed, like, a sign that was, like, weirdly blurred. Like, I was shading the camera, but the camera's on the stand, so, like, I didn't... Anyway, you can't see the name, but you, like, I do have the negative from, like, Moxie Point, when I was trying to get photos of, like, jackalopes and stuff. Did not come out, unfortunately. I can't see the name, but, like, there's, like, a silhouette of the sign.
Where is this negative? Can I see it? For the first time probably ever, he's slightly flustered.
Yeah. Yeah, you absolutely can. I should have it in the camera, and she's gonna take her camera and, like, sit it down and, like, kind of shuffle, because, like, the case is, like, the camera itself, but there's, like, little compartment where she can, like, shove some photos in, so she's, like, trying to pull one out, and she's like, and I just said, oh yeah, here it is.
She hands it to you. It is exactly the way that she described. It's a negative, so obviously everything's inverted, but everything else is pretty clear. It is the desert, but, like, you can't read anything, like she said. It almost looks blurry, as if the camera was falling as she was taking the photo, but it looks to you like a town sign. There's no town that you can see, but a sign. Can't read what's on there, but it definitely looks familiar.
You said Moxie Point?
Yeah, Moxie Point.
I think that Cyrus, this to me feels like it would be a thing he has. I feel like he pulls out a map. Like, is that a thing? I feel like he would have a map.
A handmade map, like he made it.
Yes, actually, that's great. He pulls out this map, and I think if it is a handmade map, you can see it is of mostly Moxie Point. I think you can see, like, a tiny bit of the, like, a little bit of the Lonzaloo, and then, like, a little bit of Tablet Stone, but just, like, kind of those, like, not a whole lot of it, and, like, a little bit of Bittermesa, but it's, like, mostly centered around Moxie Point. And I think you see trails probably marked on, there's some, like, paths kind of marked on there, and I think you see little, like, X's or, like, little, like, things that are sort of almost, like, crossed out in a way. And so I think he, like, opens this up. There's, like, little notes, like, little shorthand that, like, doesn't make any sense. I think it's a shorthand that he probably came up with, like it's
Yeah.
like it's like his own kind of, like, he, you know, it wouldn't make sense to anybody else. And so he's like, "Will you show me where you took this photograph?"
I don't remember exactly where I was, but it should be, like, around here.
The area that she kind of, like, gestures to, it's in the desert. You have little X's nearby, but nothing in that area itself. Like, it's still a pretty big amount, but a different area than the X's are.
I think that he just kind of, like, stares at it for a while and then looks up at Wynn, and he doesn't say anything, but he gives, like, a very slow just nod. And then he slowly folds the map up. He puts it, like, in sort of, like, the pocket that's, like, closest kind of, like, to his inner pocket, right? Like, safe spot.
Is it the bloody one from when you were shot?
There, you never saw any blood.
I know, that's why I'm saying, is it that one? Do I see
no,
it now?
it's whatever. It's just whatever.
There's an
Fuck
indent,
it.
but, like, nothing crazy.
Hey, don't worry about it. And then I think he sort of, like, takes a beat and then goes and, like, turns to, like, go, like, open the door handle, and then before he does, he kind of almost stops himself for a moment, and he doesn't turn back around, but he says, "I won't say nothing about the silver," and then opens the door.
Thank you. And she, like, goes after him.
So when you enter the mortuary, like I said, it's all stone. It's a bit more oddly shaped than the other areas. On the left-hand side, there's the door, but then there's, like, another door that just leads straight onto the graveyard. Like, it's just kind of one singular area you can go, where the other side, there's a wooden desk that's there that kind of closes it off, a little area that you can go, like, almost like a saloon door that you can just go back and forth. Like, there is actually decoration, but it's, like, weird decoration. Like, everything looks a little like, all right, that should be fine, but it's not. Like, there's a painting, but the painting is like of like Kronos like eating his kids. Like it's just like, oh.
Obsessed with it.
There is like taxidermy animal heads on there. Like it's
Hell
just
yeah.
like at first you goddamn think it is another taxidermy thing, but there is a man already positioned there. Hands on the desk like this. He is in a full suit with like a little like pocket chain that's there. Thin like black hair that is slicked down, big bottled glasses. Maybe he looks as though he can either be 20 or 75. Like it's one of those uncanny fucking people. He looks like he comes from the uncanny valley.
Good morning to you.
He is smiling, all teeth, and he goes, "Mighty fine morning."
Come find me.
Yeah, literally. He kind of sounds like he sounds like Mr. Towley.
Come find me.
Bring a towel.
I think that Cyrus looks at him, and I think he sort of has this moment of thinking about every other interaction that he's had with people in this town, and decides to, at the beginning this time around, like sort of show the marshal badge from the get-go.
Growth.
He doesn't blink. He just looks at the badge, looks back up, he goes, "Keeping it very clean."
I have a few questions for you, and I imagine the young lady does as well.
Yeah, I have like probably the same questions as you, so I'll let you like take lead, and I'll jump in when I got one that you don't. And then she just takes out her notepad.
I think that it's not a full sigh, but there's like there's sort of a pause that is almost a sigh when she says this. I'm just like, yeah, okay, we're doing this. And then Cyrus says, seems like you're the one to talk to about lots of things around here.
I am quite knowledgeable about the deceased, the dearly departed. He's just wildly off-putting.
I love how much I hate him.
I'm obsessed with it.
I want you to know, I have like reference of like everybody. There's no like clear thing. I have John Waters, a realistic render of Patrick Starr, and the Crypt Keeper. Those are the 3 images I have.
Oh my god.
What a mood board.
I just looked up John Waters and yeah, okay, I get it. I fucking get it. All right.
Yeah, just odd. He looks as though he would be an extra in the Crete video from The Lonely Island.
Yeah.
How long have you been working around these parts?
Oh, quite a long time. Numbers escape me, but I've been here for quite a numerous number of services.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
exactly. That's the reaction.
I want to ask what you know about one Mr. Tice and his passing.
Like he, without breaking eye contact, goes under the desk, pulls out like a little ledger, flips through it. He looks down at it quick, looks up, and he goes, "It was a heart attack. He was quite old. A distinguished elderly man with a ticker that just couldn't tick anymore."
A heart attack, not whatever is skulking around this town.
He flips a few pages, then goes back to the page he was previously and goes, "No, he wasn't on the registry for that."
Interesting. And there was nothing, or was there anything odd about either his death or one Lady Tice's response to it?
I don't like to make assumptions. The grieving process is an individual journey that we must go forth on. However, I will have noted in my books that Miss Tice quite swiftly ordered his plot prepared. When I arrived, he was already prepared by the missus.
One's gonna lean over. I think she did it.
I think that he just kind of like glances to the side.
You didn't examine the body before it went in the ground?
That I did. I am prideful of my knowledge of passings and pride myself on my thoroughness. And he flips another page. By the way, if you can't see anything in the book, much like Cyrus, it's all like weirdly written.
Love it. Love it.
Like, probably it's in English, but it's such weird script writing that it's just basically unreadable. He goes, I did note, though it was a heart attack, his tongue was quite blackened.
God, I don't know what it is. It was like, I guess my question is like, I want to know if that's something I've ever like heard of or seen, because I feel like I've probably seen people die in a whole lot of ways. Question mark?
You can roll investigate a mystery.
Is that so? That would be investigative mystery.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to roll that to be like, do I fucking what's up with that? Because that's weird. All right, that's an 8 investigative mystery.
The man, which, I mean, the establishment is named Abernathy's, so you can safely assume this man is Abernathy. The way that he described the black tongue, you've seen it before, but not in, like, jobs that you have done. But you've seen it.
But I don't know, like, what.
Yeah, you don't know what it is, but you've seen it before.
Seen it before. And Mr. Tice died about a week ago.
Yeah.
And I know that... Just trying to get this... You know what I need? I need a fucking timeline. Is what I really need to make here. Would you have been aware of any newcomers that would have been in town around the same time Mr. Tice died?
Well, I do know that Mr. Barclay came to town. However, he was in the company of those at the saloon at the time.
Cyrus sits up, like straightens up when he hears that Barclay Ackland.
That it be the wandering tradesman.
What do you know of him?
He is an odd fellow. He like tilts his head a bit, but then moves it back to be pin straight. He goes, loves talking about his travels across the valley. Nice man. Always attempts to make small talk with me. Very popular.
Small talk about what?
Oh, the things he had seen on his travels. Quite a wandering man.
Did he say he saw anything cryptic or monster-like?
His head, like, the way it, like, moves over is so smooth, unnervingly smooth. And he just goes, there is one thing that comes to mind. He did say that he had seen a rabbit with horns.
A jackalope.
I was gonna put that, but I was like, you know what?
I love this fucking game.
I knew they were out here.
The plot connects.
But he turns back to you, Cyrus, and just goes, otherwise, none of the sort. None information you couldn't gather.
And I think he nods and says, I want to talk about the Spector that's riding through town. And I want to know about the old sheriff's death.
I'm going to say about this time, Wyatt, you would have wandered in, but...
He's not going in.
No, you would just kind of like wait to hear. You can clearly hear it.
He's quieter than the milkman.
Yeah. Eduardo and Jenkins, probably you would also have followed, both for the individual.
They're gonna blow your cover by talking to you outside the door.
He's gonna do
No.
the shut the fuck
Big guy.
I'm not going to ruin the moment.
No, it's a rare moment of Jenkins like, okay, all right. This...
He's sobered up for half a second.
Exactly.
Must be very quiet. We're hunting rabbits.
Me and Jenkins are just playing rock, paper, scissors in the background.
Yeah.
You both just keep throwing rock.
Eduardo does not understand the game.
He just wants a fist bump.
Yeah. Abernathy flips through the book yet again, and he just goes, the Spector arrived a week or so after the previous sheriff was found.
Oh. That was an Emily O, not a Cyrus O. Sorry. Continue.
He looks down now at the book, like the first time really breaking eye contact. And he looks down and he goes, I am not truly aware of this specter, which is a bit odd. I tend to know things, but after their time, of course. I know the smell of the rot, and I know I can smell, but it's quite unfamiliar.
The Spector or from the sheriff?
The specter. The sheriff, I did prepare and lay to rest in our graveyard.
And his was the only body left behind from the Spector.
Yes.
What was his cause of death?
His face, which is like too smooth, his brows very thin, like so slightly like knit. And goes, it was a odd death, I will admit. I've seen many of which ways people have passed in the West. Snake bites, heat stroke, battle. But his was mighty odd, for he was shot quite a number of times. But there were no bullets. There was no blood.
And as I heard, he was found lying face down, and all the bullet holes were in his front.
Yes, he was on his stomach. I was awakened by those in town. No one heard the gunshots. Or if they did not tell me.
And no blood.
No blood.
Cyrus wants to pull out the handkerchief with the residue from Wyatt's hand and say, and sort of like hand it out and say,
Well, this was taken from a wound that also didn't have a bullet. Does this look familiar to you?
He takes the handkerchief from you with his like spindly fingers, long-ish nails. He picks it up, unfolds it, and on there is, it looks like gun residue, but the way that the morning light is starting to hit it, it almost looks like a deep umber color, like burnt umber. Goes around and he sniffs it and he goes, now this is quite familiar of a scent. This was the same scent that was on Mr. Tomes's corpse.
And it's the same smell that Spector has, I'm guessing?
Similar, but not quite. In the times that I have seen it thus far, 4 times considering the month.
What were those other times?
Oh, it would come into town just as you would see. The first time, it didn't do nothing. It just walked through. I am not within the vicinity quite as much as the others. You would have to speak with them. The second time, it wandered in. It went towards the jailhouse, then left. The third time, there was a man who lived on one of the nearby ranches who decided that he wasn't gonna be afraid as the others were, and he died much as you saw the little grocery boy did.
Only after he approached the Spector. The Spector didn't take anybody before he was approached.
No.
And so it's only been those 3 who've died from the Spector.
Yes.
The sheriff, the rancher, and the grocery boy.
Yes.
And have you seen this residue any other time before Butch's body?
That I have not. Sulfur is quite an odd thing to find in these parts.
I think when he says sulfur, Cyrus turns to Winifred maybe this is little Emily game meta, but I feel like sulfur feels like something like weird and monstery and cryptidy.
Yeah.
So I feel like when he says sulfur, he kind of like glances a little bit to the side to Winifred.
Can I roll investigate a mystery?
Mm-hmm. Do you have any special moves as well?
Well, we'll fix it in post.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I can use anything I can conceivably have recorded as evidence to investigate a mystery, allowing me to check previous interviews, attack sites, and so on from the comfort of my journal.
You can use that if you want. But you can use just straight investigate a mystery.
I feel like she would flip through her journal, like hearing that, like seeing what she has written.
Mm-hmm.
A 9.
Dimension of Sulfur, you flip through, and you have written in your notebook, of course, like everything you see, but also everything that you did see at one point and jotted down. So it's safe to assume you wrote down a nasty scent of something real foul when you were earlier, probably like a day or so ago, before the Spector, though. You wrote so sloppily, you don't exactly remember what time or like what place, but you definitely know like second-ish day. And your notes conclude that it was in a place with really, really bad smell.
Okay, so I did have a sulfurish, nasty scent of something like really, really bad before the Spector showed up, like the second-ish day. Of course, I can't read my handwriting. It was in a place that was really, really smelly. I remember that. So it could be by Jenkins, just anywhere near Jenkins, and maybe in his clothes, because I don't think those got washed. Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay, sorry, I just want to clarify. So you're saying that you smelled that smell the second day after the Spector showed up which time?
No, like second day that we've been playing, not
Oh.
before the Spector.
I thought this was the second day we
No, this is the third.
This is the
It was
third
the
day.
third.
Okay, so you're saying that you smelt it like Friday earlier before the Spector showed up in a smelly place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then I just want to make sure that I have this timeline based on what this is more me metaing, just trying to like make sure
Yes.
I understood. So
Yeah,
it's
I can
like
clarify.
you said that Butch's body was found, and then the mortician saw the Spector the 4 times after Butch's body's been dead.
Yeah.
Fine.
So Butch has been dead for about a month.
Yeah.
So 4 days have happened. 4 Fridays have happened since a month.
This is fucking fascinating. Okay, I'm gonna put together. You know what I'm gonna do after this? Me, Emily. I'm gonna put together like a fucking timeline because like my brain is like, okay, cool, great, this is great. Okay, and then by the way, that sulfur. I just want to make sure that I did say this is that it was the smell that was on the handkerchief and Bush. The sulfur smell was similar, but not quite the same as the smell of the Spector, right?
Yeah.
Great, similar but not quite the same. Okay, thank you. And there's been no signs of the bodies of the rancher or the grocery boy since?
Not that I am aware of. What that Spector does, I would love to know.
That wasn't ominous.
Don't worry about it. I think Cyrus nods. Me and Wynn don't know that the sheriff and the rest of them are right outside listening, right?
No.
Great. I think Cyrus kind of like sort of glances again, like went out the corner of his eye, and then looks back at the mortician and says, "One last question. Have you ever had something that came to you and looked dead but wasn't?"
The mortician, his smile gets a little bit bigger, and he looks straight into your eyes and he goes, "Second so far."
I'm sorry, what?
Who was the first?
Why, I am shocked that no one else has noticed him. He causes quite a ruckus in town.
You don't mean old man Jenkins, do you?
He kind of like chuckle. It's mostly a giggle and not a chuckle, and just goes, "Oh no, not the old man. Though I have thought quite a bit about how he would live on, so to speak."
I'm guessing it's not. I'm guessing.
I'm gonna clarify for you.
Yeah, I'm very confused because like when you said like, oh, it stinks, it smells like sulfur or whatever, I put in the chat, it's just like Jenkins is the Spector.
I'm gonna answer that and say absolutely.
Stop telling everybody I'm undead.
Do you know who the Spector was before he haunted this town?
That I do not. Typically, when he does arrive, I prepare for the trend I have been seeing. There are no bodies, but still, a ceremonial funeral is always quite nice. And you remember seeing in the graveyard how there were like some fresher graves. I never said that there were bodies in there.
True. If you were me, who would you go talk to next?
I think Cyrus almost smiles when he says this. He doesn't smile. He's smizing.
Abernathy kind of like looks at you and then turns to the door and he just goes, maybe the sheriff would have an idea. Just, he has known you've been there the entire fucking time.
They're just like leaning against the door frame.
I need you to roll investigate a mystery, Wyatt.
Do I get my sheriff +1?
Yes.
11.
You can phrase it any way that you can, but this is who exactly you should go to next.
Yeah, so I was just leaning against the door frame, so after he says that, Wyatt will just kind of like nod.
Wyatt?
Abernathy? Marshall? Winnie?
Eduardo!
I was hoping you or Jenkins would fucking do that.
Like when Abernathy like looks past Cyrus and looks to Wyatt, I think he kind of just slowly turns, and there's like a moment when Cyrus's hand twitches ever so slowly, like not quite pulling his gun, but like there's a noticeable twitch in his gun hand. Doesn't do anything about it, just a small twitch.
Which Wyatt notices.
Wyatt will remember that.
Wynn will also remember that.
But he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't. Character growth.
I mean, I don't have a gun, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So so if it's not Jenkins, who do you mean is causing the ruckus in town?
You thought I was causing the ruckus?
I mean, you kind of caused some ruckus.
I am offended.
Listen, Sharman kicks you out.
I will not stand for this.
Senor Jenkins, you do cause a ruckus from time to time.
I thought you were on my side, big buddy.
That's why I keep you honest.
You know, I appreciate that about you. You keep me honest.
It's a really nice bromance moment.
And he'll pop a bottle out of his pants and take a swig. This one's for you.
Are you handing me the drink, or did you just take a shot of it?
Oh no, he drink. Well, he'll drink it and then he'll offer it to you.
It's like pour one out for the homies, but you just drink it for the homies.
He's just finding an excuse to drink, and then he'll offer it to you.
No, thank you, senor.
Fine, more for me.
So who is it?
I would assume quite a few of you would have met him previously. He is quite an unhinged fellow.
I think Cyrus does turn and look at Jenkins.
I'm acquainted. He's not a talkative fellow.
Not quite.
Not Eduardo.
Okay, thank God, because I'm just like, I didn't write this. I don't know.
Anything you know, Abernathy, that would get Bill talking?